Thank you for coming in. Welcome to Talking About Podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Today is the first time that I'm recording myself on a different platform. I'm recording myself via my phone instead of my webcam because my webcam decided to break. So if you hear me like showing things or moving things, is because I am recording via my phone, which is in a different direction than my mic or my computer, which has my script. Let me fix. Okay. Sorry, I was listening to an old friend's podcast. Ironically, I'll probably shout it out, but I want to talk today about my relationship with God and just kind of give an update about that because it's something that's honestly changing my entire life. For the better or the worse, I'm not sure, but yeah. Recently, I've been feeling a little bit more grounded with my life, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know, because the dog is sighing because she has such a hard life. I don't know if it's because I've been more in tune with myself and I've been talking more on the podcast and I've been recording more podcast episodes and I've been more honest with myself, or it's because I'm doing those things as well as growing my relationship with God. So this is my Bible. It is a King's James, version of the Bible. I bought this for myself sophomore year of high school when I went to a camp in Oregon. I think it's in Pineville, Oregon. And the camp is called Camp Attitude. And it's not for children with attitude problems, although I did have one at the time. It is a camp built for those who are unable body and who are disabled, mentally and physically. Let me actually look up Camp Attitude because I have the resources available. There we go. Oh, it's in Foster, Oregon. I lied to you. It's not Pineville. Anyways, let me go to the website and see what the thing is. About. Okay, this is their mission statement. The mission statement is to provide a safe and positive camping experience for children and families to learn about the saving hope of Jesus Christ in a camping environment. This is a camp that is very dear to me because I did all of my Christian service hours for high school to graduate at this camp. I did it in a week where it was. I went to this camp my sophomore year of high school, and it honestly was life changing. And if I could, I would go back. I thought about going back for the summertime and volunteering in the kitchen because my profession, my career profession, is in the kitchens. So, but they have a camper ministry, a parent ministry, sibling ministry, and a volunteer ministry. They are hiring as a camp cook, but this is their opening paragraph. It says, "We strive to help your camper experience in no limits by doing our best to accommodate all needs, no matter how unique. From specially designed bunk beds to wheelchair accessibility, your family's safety and comfort are our number one concern." Located along the Santam River in Foster, Oregon, our 40-acre campus includes 12 RV spots, 6 full cabins, 5 yurts, full accessibility bathing facilities, a 2-story staff house, a multi-purpose room, industrial kitchen, pavilion, and over 2 miles of paved trails, accessible fishing ponds, and much more. In 1998, Camp Attitude was nothing more than a dream. The property was covered in overgrown bush and unkept trees. Thankfully, there's a group of people who could envision a full, accessible campground with many amenities. It was a Herculean task that required countless hours of volunteer work, donations, and materials, and intense fundraising. Who can attend? Camp Attitude is to serve children and adults who cannot attend a typical summer camp without assistance or aid. If a not-for-profit Christian camp, however, campers are not required to claim a religious belief. It is our highest honor to serve children and family of all backgrounds with the same loving grace and that is so freely given to us. Sorry, it was a very distracting video that I kept flickering up to, but it's just talking about faith through action, how you can help. So when I went to Camp Attitude, it was the volunteers had to pay to attend, while the campers who attended got in for free, just to help allow people who are struggling to go into it. Being disabled and having lack of accessibility definitely puts a financial hindrance on a lot of people. And this camp thing is very important to allow anybody and everybody of all backgrounds to come. So I volunteered for a week in the summertime. I met, I don't know, one, two, three. I met 3 people that I still talk to this day there, that mean very dear to me. Yeah, and at the time when I went, I was not religious. I only went because I needed to fulfill my hours, and I said, let me just get this one and done, bam and ding. So I got it done in, like I said, the week. You have to volunteer for a week. It is a 6-day thing, 5 days with the campers, 1 day without. You get there the day before to help set up and attend a mass, as well as just instructions, rules, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just very very cool. You are asked to arrive between 5 and 6 on your arrival dates. You're not allowed to arrive early. Your departure time will be after the people leave. There is transportation available from Eugene to there, but not from Portland, because it is in Oregon, so there's only 2 main airports. But yes, this camp has really helped me become who I am. Okay, we're still recording. My phone just hit 20%, but yes. And I want to say that because it really started my relationship with God, and it really made me start to question. So in order to attend, you needed to bring a Bible for Mass, and so I had to go and buy myself a Bible from Walmart. So this is where this Bible came from. Very long story of where my Bible came from. But recently, I say recently, as in like 6 days ago, I guess. Yeah, 7 or 6 days ago. I started reading the Bible every day. And I started keeping a journal of everything that happens, just a habit tracker, a goal tracker, and I'm doing this to help make myself more prepared for the New Year's. And I've made countless episodes on how New Year near me sucks, because respectively putting yourself in that much pressure and seeing other people put that much pressure on themselves during one specific time of year when it's honestly the most stressful part of the year is, I believe, really stupid, and I think it kind of counteracts the entire point of trying to have a productive year. I also think that if you are going to better yourself in any possible way, you just start it. Kind of what I did, but people are gonna do whatever they want to do, and I chose to start mine the 29th of November. So this Bible. When I say that I've been getting better, I say that in a lot of ways. I have been more forgiving with myself. And the 2 episodes before this that you'll hear, I talk about forgiveness a lot. And in an episode, you can hear me talk a lot about my Bible, and I quote the Bible a lot. But yeah, I talk a lot about forgiveness. And with forgiveness, before this year ends, I do plan on forgiving my mom. Yikes. But I do plan on forgiving my mom, and I'm not sure how I'm going to forgive her, but I think I will be writing an email and sending her an email, because all the pain and the misery and just the discontentness of that relationship needs to be left in a different year than what I'm wanting to experience and what I'm wanting to do with my life. So, I just realized how bald I look. I promise you I'm not bald. Okay. But yeah, it's like I sit here and I talk about forgiveness, and I realize that like the person I need to forgive the most is my mother. And not because I feel the need to reconnect with her, but because I feel the need to kind of let go. And recently I've been having a lot of like I wouldn't say mental problems, because it's just been mental struggles, not problems, struggles. These hurdles are getting a little too big, a little too spread out for me. But I've been having a lot of issues with self-esteem, which I've never had great self-esteem, but I've been having a lot of issues with thinking I'm constantly going to get fired at work. That's something that I'm truly terrified of. And I think I'm always going to get fired. I think that nobody likes me at work. I think nobody likes me in general. I think that I'm not worth anything. And I think that I don't deserve to have the life that I live, that I don't deserve to have everything that I do. If that makes sense. Because, like, yeah, I just don't think I deserve those things. And I just fear for my job, and I think that nobody likes my cooking. And cooking is so near and dear to me that when I think nobody likes my cooking, I think nobody likes me. I think nobody likes me for my personality, or because I'm weird, or because I'm quirky. I'm not saying that thing for real, but because I just don't think that I deserve to live the life that I live, and I don't think that I deserve to have a loving roommate that I do, that I deserve to have my roommate's dog, who is the most pain in the ass, but the fucking cutest dog in the world. But I don't think that I deserve to have a loving brother, and I don't think I deserve to have a relationship with my other siblings. Because I don't have that relationship, and I never will have that relationship with them again, and it really hurts me, and it just makes me really feel like shit. And I think that's where the most root of my causes are, is because of the lack of a relationship with my other two siblings, and a knowing fact that I am the villain in their stories is what makes me struggle so badly. Because I I left an environment that was very bad for myself, and I left an environment with the help of my father and my stepmom. And I left that environment in, I wouldn't say a selfish way, because it wasn't selfish for me to leave the environment I was in. It wasn't selfish for me to leave an abusive mom. It wasn't bad for me to leave that, but I feel selfish, not like shrimp, selfish, if I can fucking speak. I feel like a terrible sister because I never did anything to help them, and I still feel that way. And I think it's very deeply rooted in my life, in the fact that I haven't spoken to my other two siblings since I was 15, and I'm now 20. Like, I haven't seen my mom since I was 15. And like I said, I'm now 20. Like, I have such a strained relationship, and I have such a lack of a relationship, that it just makes me feel like shit, because I know that they're living their lives. In an episode before you'll hear this one, I start to cry and I start to get really upset because I found my sister's Instagram, and I saw her username was like they fuck with. It was like they FW, and it was like her name or whatever. And I felt such a parental feeling towards it. And I was like, she should not be cussing. Like, she is just a child in my eyes, because when I left her, she was 10 years old. When I left her and didn't see her again, she was 10, 11 years old. I haven't seen her since, and that's how old my brother is now. So looking back, I'm like, she shouldn't be like, she's fucking 15 years old, nearly 16 years old. Like, she should not be saying those things. She should not have a boyfriend, she should not be experiencing these things. But then I realized, like, I've tried to follow the account, I'm not gonna lie. And I realized that, like, I have no say. I have no idea where her life's going. Like, I have no idea what her boyfriend's like. I'm like, because I walked out on her. And I realized that after I had tried to follow her, that she probably just thinks I'm a villain, and that I'm a piece of shit, and that I just left her because I don't love her. And I know that's exactly what my mom said, to get under her skin, to make those lies and those things up about me. And it makes me so sad, because I wish I could just explain myself. And I think that's why I need to do this forgiveness and understand my relationship, and come from a pure piece of my heart, because I've written many essays about her. And if anyone from high school listens to this, you'll know, especially if you're in my English class, I wrote a lot of essays about my mom, only because it was such a traumatic experience that it was so easy to write about, and it was so easy to get pity points on, because if I talk about how my mom used to abuse me, of course I'm gonna get full points on it. Like, no teacher's gonna be like, your abuse was not worth it. I'm sorry. I need to stop. The brain rot is too real. But yeah, like, I talk about it a lot because it's something not very many people know about me, and it's something that nobody would expect that from me. Like, I sit here and I've made myself into this person that I want to be. I am terrified of becoming my mom, and I think that's why I have such bad self-esteem, because I've I'm always comparing myself to her, and I fear that if I compare myself enough to her, I'll be looking in a mirror. And I think that's very important to like realize, because she she is such a bad person, and anytime that I fuck up, I'm like, oh my fucking god, I'm one step closer to becoming that shitty person. Like, I sit here and sometimes I feel like I'm like manipulating my roommate into doing certain things or feeling certain ways because I'm upset and I want her to feel certain ways, and I feel like I'm doing those things and I'm like, damn, I'm just like my fucking mom. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why am I like this? But I realize that, like, I need to forgive her and I need to forgive myself, because at the end of the day, I am building my relationship with God, and I'm building my relationship with Him to allow me to forgive and allow me to live my fullest life and allow me to sit here and enjoy the smaller things. I'm not trying to preach the Bible, and I'm not trying to build my relationship with God. You can't see it, but I'm tapping this guy. Because I want to get into heaven. It's because I want to make peace with myself, and I want to make peace with my past, and I want to be able to forgive and forget. And not necessarily the forget part, because that's something I'm never going to forget. I'm never going to forget everything I've gone through. I'm never going to forget those things. I'm never going to, you know, that's something I'm never going to come to peace with, but it will give me one step closer. And it just makes me feel like such shit, because I just know I am the worst person in the world to my siblings. And I think that's where this apology needs to come from, because if I can apologize, then I know that I'm the bigger person. I know that I can sit here and be like, I am sorry for your actions, and I am sorry for acting the way that I did, even though I was fucking 15. Like, at the end of the day, I could sit here and be like, no, I was 15 fucking years old, and I chose to step away from a situation that was unhealthy for me. I can come back and be like, no, you're the fucking piece of shit parent, which, granted, she was not a great parent. Granted, she will never be a good parent, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to apologize, because it's the rightful thing I should be fucking doing, because that is what I need to do with my life in order to move on and become the best version of myself. So, after rounding the same fucking bases 7 times, my relationship with God is growing. This last week, I have felt so much freer. I have felt so much less conscious. I felt like better. And by feeling those things, I realize these other flaws that I have, not just mentally, but like physically and things. And it makes me want to become better in all aspects of my life. And I want to sit here and I want to be the best possible version of myself. And if that means reading a potential fictionist book, or a book that people can be like, oh, that has no basis, then that's what that means. Because I can sit here, and if I can say that, oh, I understand why this is happening in my life, I understand why I feel like shit mentally, it's because I can't forgive people. And I think that when people say that, like, the Bible isn't real, or like, God isn't real, it's because they can't forgive themselves and they can't forgive other people for wronging them. And I think that's one of the biggest things of human misery, is that you cannot find it in yourself to forgive somebody for who they are. And I think if you're able to forgive somebody for who they are, you are truly the biggest person and the bigger person. Because you need to be able to have that maturity and that level of understanding. So, yeah. But today at work, for example, I had somebody talk to me. I didn't have somebody, I had my boss talk to me about hiring another person for the kitchen. This kitchen's the smallest kitchen. It's like 2 people max working. And my first instinct wasn't to freak out and be like, oh my god, he's gonna replace me. My first instinct was like, oh, how does he work? Is he a good worker? Is he nice? Does he have a personality that's going to work well with customers, because our kitchen is open so customers can talk to us. And it wasn't an automatic like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. It was an, oh my God, this is a new opportunity that I'm grateful for. And if I do get fired from a job, or if I run into somebody that doesn't like my food, if I run into somebody that doesn't like the way I am or who I am, I want to be able to ask them why. Why do you feel the need to fire me? Why is my food not good? Tell me what you would add. Tell me what you'd take away. And it's like, it's the same thing with getting fired or having a new opportunity. Like, tell me why you want to be in this opportunity. Tell me why this opportunity should be pursued. Tell me why this wasn't good. I think it's very important to be able to come from it from a questioning perspective instead of a defensive perspective that's like, oh my God, I have to work really hard now, I'm going to get fired. Because at the end of the day, I have to realize that people are grateful for me and that people are going to be happy even if they're not the happiest with me. They're still going to be in a pleasant aspect, if that makes sense. But yeah, this episode is really long. I'm very sorry, but I've been reading this Bible every single day. I've been flipping to the back because since it's not the new year, I kind of wanted to read the Bible beginning to end in a year, which is what I'm going to do when January hits. But since I've already been reading the Bible, it feels a little bit more possible than just starting it randomly. But in the back of this Bible, well, in the back of a lot of Bibles, that's the one, they have these verse finders. Let me show you. For those of you who don't read it, they have these verse finders. So the other day I read one, or I guess yesterday I read one about forgiveness. What one should I read? We're gonna read one about success. I think that's one of the ones I read yesterday, but we're gonna try. So where was it? Never mind, we're not gonna read one about success because I cannot find the success spot that I just saw. Oh, it's because I turned the page. Thanks. I'm not very bright today. Actually, we're gonna read one about hypocrisy. We gotta try to learn how to read. Okay, it's gonna be. Oh my God. 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 1. So I gotta find 1 Peter. It should be in the New Testament, right? It's gotta be 1 Peter 9:6-1. I'm sorry, this is gonna be so long, guys. I'm so very sorry. But I feel the need to do this. The second apostle of Peter. I want the first apostle of Peter. Okay, it's chapter 2 verse 1. Alright, so this is about hypocrisy. Second chapter verse 1. Hello? Oh, the second chapter started on the other page. I'm not great with finding verses on the Bible because the wording is so tiny, especially in this one. I'm like, I can't see, I'm an old person. Anyways. Whew. This is a long one. Live as God's chosen people. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies and all envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babies desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so, ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Just pretty much saying you just need to lay aside your malice, your guile. I'm not sure actually what guile means. Your hypocrisy and your envies and your evil speaking. It's just saying that you should lay down everything that's not great for you and that you should drink the milk of the Lord. So this says, I often have to read the Bible and I have to look up a translation if I'm not going to lie with you, because this is the King James Bible, Jesus. And it's very old school to read, and I'm not very great at reading old words because, yeah, I'm just also not great at reading in general, but, anyways, I think I'm gonna end it here. This is kind of a longer episode than I was expecting. The last episode I just recorded was 28 minutes. This is 24 minutes. So I've sat here for an hour recording and talking when I have a work spreadsheet due. So, yeah. With that, thank you for listening to Talking While Podcast where we talk about everything and anything. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.